it was problematic offensively for this squad. The only team with worse quarterback play in terms of QBR was the Jets. No way or no doubt the Patriots will draft a QB in the first round in 2024.
This is the Lombardi Line with former NFL executive Michael Lombardi. Now here is your host, Stormy Buonantony, on VSiN, the sports betting network.
No diggity, no doubt.
It's time to ask Michael Lombardi, no way or no doubt.
All right, Michael, the Patriots' new offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, said yesterday when asked if he could envision Mac Jones starting in 2024, everything is on the table. ESPN Patriots reporter Mac Reese also says the Patriots drafting a quarterback with the number 3 overall pick, quote, should not be a given. No way or no doubt the Patriots will draft a QB in the first round in 2024.
Well, I think that this falls between we're not sure yet. I think we don't have enough information. But I would say no way to Mac Jones being the quarterback.
Okay.
I would say there would be a different quarterback than Mac Jones. So I'm going to kind of fudge. This is one of those you can't really give a no way or no doubt. I could see them signing a guy because they feel like the draft or they're not worth it or they could trade down. Robert Kraft has already said this is the most important draft in his 31 years in his career as the owner. So we'll see. But for me, I think ultimately, we're too early in the process. Everybody wants an answer on who they're going to get. Here we are in February, and you go through Twitter and you read, well, who are we going to get? I mean, the Eagles are asking who they're going to get. They want to know, it's too early. You don't even know who you're going to get. And let's be really clear here again, Stormy. The difference between, now, quarterbacks change teams, right? We know that, right? We saw what C.J. Stroud did. We saw what Bryce Young didn't do. Quarterbacks change teams. They change their win total. But other than the quarterback position, no one else is going to, this draft will not shift or alter your draft wins. That's why we see them already. That's why DraftKings has put them out. This team's 9.5. That team's 8. This team's 10. Even if the Patriots draft a quarterback, their number's not going to go up. Even if the Falcons trade for the greatest quarterback in the history of 10 wins in Justin Fields, their number's not going to go up, right? It's all going to be the same. And so I think you have to be careful about putting so much on the draft. The draft is just the newer play. What matters more than anything is last year's draft. We got to get those guys to play good.
Sure, that was a hell of a line there on Justin Fields. But as it pertains to the Patriots, one thing is for sure, they need a lot of change offensively because it was they and the Carolina Panthers, Panthers obviously the worst team in the league this year with just 2 wins, had the fewest points scored per game this year, and the only team with worse quarterback play in terms of QBR was the Jets. So it was problematic offensively for this squad. Let's go to college football here. Lots of reports coming out of yesterday's CFP meeting, including the indication that before the 12-team playoff has even gotten underway, Michael, that they're talking about in 2026 expanding to 14 or 16 teams. No way or no doubt, the CFP should continue playoff expansion beyond 12 teams.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think 14 might be the limit, right? I think, let's go back. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday when we had Stuart Mandel on. There's no way they should expand it. Let me answer the question. I don't think it should go to 14 because there was going to be some games. What did he say? If we would have had this last year, 5 would have played, Georgia would have played Liberty. Would that have been a good game? You know what I'm saying? So do we really have 14 that we could make good? Look, we've gone to 7 playoff. This was the first year a 7th seed beat anybody in the playoffs, and obviously Green Bay took care of business. But I think to me, 14 college teams qualifying may be a stretch. 12 might be the right number. I think it's probably 10 would be more of the right number.
Also, I think to be fair, based on the number that Oregon did on Liberty in the Fiesta Bowl, anyone would have beat up on Liberty, no matter the format. That's mean. I feel bad. They were an undefeated team in the regular season.
I don't think it's fair. They had a great year, but it's a different level. I mean, we're seeing this with the NIL. It's hard.
That's the thing, Michael. And I am a proponent of the Group of 5 more than just about anybody. I absolutely love G5 football, and I pull for the underdog. I love those types of teams when they have those exceptional seasons. But I think 12 is a good number. Let's get through 12. let's see how 12 works before we talk about adding in more teams and see what the level of competition is from that standpoint. In this offseason, running backs are going to be a topic of conversation once again, just like they were last year. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, the list goes on. Running backs that are still looking for deals. No way or no doubt, running backs will have an easier time getting paid this offseason than they did last year.
No way. No way. I think they're going to have a hard time. They're going to continue to have a hard time. I think they're going to continue to have a hard time.
You don't think Jonathan Taylor's deal will help them at all?
I think it hurts them. I think the Taylor deal hurts them because I think that people are going to say, well, if he got this money, why don't I get it? I mean, it's a fair point to make. It's a fair point to make. You say, if you're Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor got $14 million a year, why can't I get $14 a year? And there hasn't seemed to have been an appetite to pay that. If teams want to pay that, they'll just franchise you. I mean, the Giants could sign, are they going to sign Barkley to $14 a year? So between Daniel Jones at 40 and Barkley at 14 or 14 a year, that's $54 million of their cap tied up in two players where they haven't been able to win when they've had them.
Yeah. I just feel like, and we talked about this so much last offseason, but winning competent level production at the running back position can come at a far lower price and contracts that are far less prohibitive when you just get guys in the draft and they're younger. And you look at a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, who helped the Chiefs defend their Super Bowl title as a 7th rounder.
I mean, it's the greatest example, right? They draft Edwards-Helaire in the 1st round, and the 7th rounder ends up being better. And let's be clear, they wouldn't be where they are if it weren't for Pacheco. His numbers increased. He went from 14 carries up to 21 come playoff time. So, yeah, I'm with you. If you could find Pacheco in a very, from Rutgers by Vineland High School, I mean, that's pretty damn good. And credit Brett Veach and the Chiefs staff, and credit Andy Reid for playing him over the 1st rounder, too.
Well, and here's the thing, Michael. Yes, he as a 7th rounder is the diamond in the rough, but non-first round running backs having success is normal. You look at the Dolphins running backs, Devon Achane, 3rd round, Raheem Mostert, undrafted. Of the top 10 running backs in the NFL this year in terms of yards, only Christian McCaffrey and Najee Harris were 1st round picks. Derrick Henry, Kyren Williams, James Cook, DeAndre Swift, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, all 2nd rounder later. So you can get guys later on.
That's right. And let's face it, Najee was in the bottom 20, and people criticized that pick, right? And McCaffrey was, I think he was in the teens or maybe 10. He wasn't the first pick overall. I mean, I think you just can't overvest. I mean, you only have so many cap dollars to spend. You can't give it to somebody else. And there's other backs out there. You got to find them, and you got to make sure that you pick the right one that fits your run game. See, this is the big thing about running backs too is you got to get the right marriage between the scheme and what the back sees and how the back runs, right? Because that's the key. Some guys are not good at running outside zones. Some guys are good at running outside zones. Some guys are better at point of entry runs. So you got to get the right kind of, it's not all backs are the same.
Yeah, and Christian McCaffrey, where he was drafted and the payday that he has had is because he's more than just an everyday run-of-the-mill running back as well. He does so many different things that it commands that price tag. Let's hit another one here, though. Go back to college football a little bit. Nick Saban is right. College football is in need of meaningful change. He told ESPN this week, if his voice can bring about some meaningful change, he wants to help any way he can. What we know now is college football is not college football as we know it. You hear somebody use the word student athlete, that doesn't exist. No way or no doubt, Nick Saban's right.
He's no doubt he's right, and he should be on the front of it. They should listen to him. Now the problem you have is doing what's right and doing what's legal. Right, there's the line. Can you do this? Can you just enforce rules? See, the NFL is a collectively bargained league. There's no collective bargaining between student athletes and the NCAA and the schools. So this is a tougher challenge. You put some rule in place that a student could take to a court, and it could be gone within an hour. So there's change is important. But being able to have the change that's legal change that gets passed by everybody is even harder. That question I asked Stuart Mandel yesterday, if we're going to have 12, are we going to let these kids transfer in the middle of everything? He brought up Kyle Allen. He's right, Kyle McCord. I'm sorry. He brought up Kyle McCord. I mean, that's a hard thing. I'd like to see him stop changing schools when the bowl games are going on and then do it after.